Greetings, this is the Instrument Sidekick video for the Clarinet, page 32 and page 33. This one's just got an F sharp at the top, and this one has a big picture of a clarinet on the side, and the title never ended up on. So on the top of this one, you'll write that. Fingering chart. Fingering charts. Alright. This is not a usual fingering chart. We'll talk about that in a moment, though. Let's go back to page 32. So, page 32. First we're going to talk about an F sharp, a new note. So that's a sharp sign. Okay. We've already talked about flat signs for the B flat. Okay. Now the sharp sign, this little symbol was known as a sharp symbol long before it was known as a hashtag for whatever things you do online. Okay. So that is a sharp symbol. I don't know about when tic-tac-toe came to be. I don't know if that was from before F sharps or not, but I'm assuming sharps are probably one of the earlier versions of the symbol. So that's a sharp that changes our regular F a little bit. Okay, so instead of your thumb, it's your first finger and no thumb. All right, so instead of F, you take the thumb away. And you only have your first finger, so no thumb. You don't take your finger this far away, though. You keep it nearby there. And this is an F sharp. This is an F. And this is an F sharp. See, very, very close to each other, but they are different. Okay? So, up here there was a little test thing that you'll have to answer for me in our lessons. What are sharp naturals and flats called? There's a name for that group of things. All right. Then over here we have something called key signatures. Key signatures. Okay. Now up till now you've had flats in the song. Okay. This term in the song. Okay. Sharps can be in the song as well. But what if all of a particular note is flat or sharp the entire song? Why write it every measure when we can put it in the front and tell you to just remember that all of them are that way? All right, so that's what a key signature does. So in between your treble clef and your time signature, you have what's called a key signature. This one has that flat sign on the middle line, the B line, every good burger. B, okay? So that makes it so all the B's are flat in the whole song. This has a sharp on the top line. Every good burger deserves fries, so that's on the top line for F. So all the F's are sharp if you see that one, okay? So key signatures mean something's flat or sharp the whole song. Now, on the next page with the fingering chart, it's missing F sharp and low B natural, and you already know low B natural, all right? But it's here because it's missing on the next page. And then here's this baby right here. All right? So we have sharps and we have flats, and then we have this guy right here. And it negates the key signature for that note for just the measure. This is the natural sign and is also an accidental. That might be a secret answer to something I just asked a little while ago. So, so a natural sign. So let's say all the B's are flat for an entire song, except for one B in the middle of the song. Okay, so then it's still easier for the composer to say, hey, all the B's are flat, I'll put that in the key signature, and then that one B that's different, I'll put this symbol, which means it's right back to being B natural instead of B flat. Okay? So that's what that sign does. It negates the flat or sharp that you said was flat or sharp the whole song. Okay? Now, next page. Fingering chart. Now, this is not a normal fingering chart. Most fingering charts will have this part of it, though. It would have the picture of the note, tell you what the note is, but usually underneath you'll see little circles for where your fingers go, and it'll like darken in the circles or something where you would be covering the holes. Okay, this one's a little different. All right, so we have two columns. We have a column that has your thumb down the whole time, and we have a column that has your thumb and register key. So these are above the break and below the break. Okay, thumbs down in both, but this is a register key as well. All right, then if we have our finger down to there with our thumb still, we have an E. We should know that already. If we add the next finger, we have a D. We should know that already. If we add the next finger, we have a C. We should know that already. Now, if we add this finger, not the middle finger, but the first finger of the right hand here, then we have B flat. All right, so B flat. Then if we add one more finger, we have an A, and that's what a low A looks like. Add one more finger, we have a G, and that's what a G looks like, really low. And then if we press our finger on that key right there, I'm going to show you that on the clarinet itself, we get a low F, okay? Low F. And then if we want to go to low E, we go all the way to there. So, if I have my thumb down, we have E, D, C, B flat, A, G, and low F. This key right here. Okay? So underneath your finger, there's this key. You skip that one, and you press this key. Not the ones that are farther in, not these two. Okay? The ones right underneath, and you skip one, and you go to the bottom one right there. Okay? And if you want to go one lower, you would add this pinky here. The one farthest in. Okay? Not out, not one of these two. These are kind of more out. The one farthest in. So you have... Alright, now on the other side of the page, okay, we have the above the break notes. Now, you haven't played all of these before. And so what's going to happen is in the next pages, you're going to get a song or two where these new notes are. And rather than it telling you what to do, you need to see, oh, I don't know what that note is right there. And you need to come to this fingering chart, find the same picture of the same kind of note, see what it's called, and put your fingers all the way down on the clarinet to the right spot. All right, so the idea is a fingering chart is basically a dictionary for clarinet notes, okay? But it has to work a little differently than using your alphabetical order and finding in a dictionary because it's not a word. You see this symbol on a staff. So fingering charts have all the different symbols going all the way down on each line and space in the staff, and it tells you what it is and what the fingering is, all right? So the above the break notes. My reed's a little dry because it was sitting while I was talking. So you don't know any of the above the break notes involve your right hand, and you haven't played any of those songs that have notes that are low A, low G, or low F. So these new notes are going to come in the next page, and you have to be able to look them up in the fingering chart, because believe me, it gets more advanced than this, and a bigger range than you'd think on a clarinet. So I want you to be able to read fingering charts because you're going to get more advanced fingering charts with more options for more different kinds of notes, because this is still only a certain number of notes. This is leaving out, outside of the B flat, this is still leaving out that all these notes can have flat versions and sharp versions. And so there's going to be more advanced ones. So think of this more like a glossary more than a dictionary. This is a very limited fingering chart because it's only showing you so much. So kind of like a glossary in a book that's showing you the tough words for that particular story or that particular book. And a dictionary tells you all of it. Okay, there's going to be more advanced fingering charts. But this will at least get you used to starting to look up a fingering chart and trying to read them and figure out what your fingers are. All right, so that's these two pages. Now, nothing on these two pages is anything to practice. outside of getting familiar with it. All right. And then the next pages are going to involve coming back and looking this stuff up. All right. So read these pages, really try and understand them as best you can. Come to me with questions if you don't understand anything. And may the force be with you.